So today is Wednesday, September 11th, 2024. And Debbie's in Georgia, and Heike is in Norway, and I'm here in Lake Superior. And let's all of us start to just breathe. Slow down our thinking. Really get in touch with each other. We have such a deep emotional connection. And if we think of emotion as in the center of the planet, let's send our consciousness back down through the earth, back through intellect, through intuition, and down to emotion. It's almost like we're astronauts in spacesuits in outer space, floating around in the space between the molecules, looking at the particles that are going to become the toaster and the bed and the car and the lights. And as we imagine ourselves that deep in the planet, feel yourself muffled from the language of the intellect. It's far, far away. We are submerged in the center of the planet. Together, we will command that only the most divine light shine down upon you at this time, and the greatest good be present here. And as we are all submerged in the center of the planet, in the source, imagine you are in your compilation. And Heike, imagine you are in your compilation. And Barbara, imagine you are in your compilation. And everyone, imagine your own singularity. It's an electromagnetic particle that creates a boundary that is you. It is the I am. Everything that you are destined to become. And start to breathe deeply. And exhale any focus away from the non-physical. Bring it back in. Revolve it back in to the source, to the compilation, and to this dimension of emotion. Now, as you're in your compilation, imagine that all of the operations of your system, of your entire system, are contained therein. So you, as a consciousness without form, have married yourself to these mathematics. And you are contained inside a compilation that is specifically and uniquely designed to create your unique life. Feel the energy pulsing before there's form, before there's images, before there's sound. The energy is pulsing. It's vibrating at different frequencies. And each physical object that you experience in the lens has its own unique frequency. All matter vibrates. That is matter being sung to life. But each different manifestation of matter, the light different from the sink, different from the cat, different from the car, has their own frequency. So you tune in to the frequency of the chair using the system that you're operating in. You tune into the frequency of the sky, the water, the buildings, and your family. And all of it is vibrating into life. When you begin to work on this level, you are transcending the laws of nature, and you are working in the spiritual laws of manifestation. And in all the work that you have done in your lives to learn this, you've come to a place now where more than ever you are being driven into this center, into this source, into this compilation as the primary reality. And what you're finding is that when you linger in the lens, using mostly your intellectual energy to try to manipulate events or manifestations alone, that you get tired, that it drains you to have to pour your energy into trying to change the reflections. So you go deep into the source, into your compilation, and you situate yourself in that singularity. And you breathe in, your consciousness breathes in all of that math that creates a map, a roadmap from the compilation to the final effect, the manifestation of the entire universe. This is no small potato thing. This is, as we were trying to tell you last week, the key to unlocking the universe. It's the key for you to unlock the oppressive sociopathic system that exists in the lens. Going this deep demonstrates a commitment to what you say you believe in. And most importantly right now, of any other task that you could be committed to, it would be to live what you believe in. It's almost better to not speak about your beliefs, about your worldviews, about what you think is truth, and instead just live it so succinctly, so fiercely, with such commitment that each and every time you look at the world in the lens, that you draw in this big, big picture of the truth, which is at the root of everything, is you. So as you're in your compilation, and you're also in the lens, and on this particular day, the three of you are each in a different time zone, a different latitude, a different longitude. Your bodies are in completely different places. And because of the internets, you're able to have visual and audio contact with each other via the Zooms, and that part of your connection via the Zooms is only a small part of how you all connect in the source. And if we were able to describe how it looks, it's that you're all superimposed upon each other. So Barbara is sitting at her kitchen table with her windows out to the woods. And Debbie is at her mother's house in the bedroom, looking out on the residential street. And Heike is in her kitchen in Norway, in her beautiful home. And imagine that the three of you are superimposed, each location, everything you're seeing, and it doesn't feel unreasonable to you all. That's how it is. Because if we were to take away the Zooms, you would still have these connections. You would have to try a little harder and in a different way to achieve having three of you conscious in a meditation together and yet in different parts of the world. That might be something you might want to experiment with. But this is how it is. You are all one. With this mysterious, magical, miraculous intention to manifest a universe. And what we were trying to tell you last week is how much energy it takes to create a universe. It's more than humanity can measure, as much as those on the left side of the brain would like to. And it's all contained, all of it is contained within your compilation. The only thing that's separate is the details of your projector/perceiver. Your reference frame, your frame of reference is unique, coming out of your body. Because the way the physical world is set up, you each have different bodies, so you cannot occupy the same reference frame like you can do when you're in the source, superimposed in your compilations. You can't then. You have no bodies to keep you separate. When you're in the lens, your reference frame is what makes you unique in your I am. So as you're moving along, as you're proceeding ahead during this highly potent astrological and energetic time period, what can we do to inspire you to want to make your first intention every day is to live your truth? If you live your truth, you are basically living in self-love. And in this way, living your truth is a process that we have simplified. In the very beginning, we gave the Psychic Sorority 6 steps, and we want to just walk you lightly through them so that you can be inspired to understand how simple a process it is to live your truth. Once you align your intellect and the sociopathic, psychopathic messages that try to destroy you, to try to take you down, to try to degenerate you, it's in all of you. The simplicity of living your truth becomes evident. And the first thing is to remember that the culture that you're in, that you're projecting and perceiving back, is going to tell you lies. It's going to reflect back to you that you're not the powerful person that you are. It's going to blame you. It's going to tell you you're doing it wrong. It's going to tell you you're too old, that you're not smart enough, that you're not good enough, that you have to do this in order to get that. All the messages of culture are swirling around in that lens every day, every hour, every minute. And what you want to do is address the reflections of them in your intellect. So don't think of yourself as going in to change culture as much as to wash that inner chalkboard and write the highest level messages that you're capable of imagining. And that leads into the second step, which is to know that every conflict you have is rooted within you in that very place. And the third is you need to develop systems of inspiration. This is a hard slog. You absolutely have to have systems of inspiration, whether it be physical rest and relaxation, whether it be friends like you have each other that support you and inspire you. Whatever it is, you have to know that inspiration is a condition that you nurture, not something that happens outside you. You're ready for the wind, ready to have your sails up, ready to go. And then you make a commitment. And what commitment do you commit to? You commit to the mystery. At the root of everything is an unknown. And when you get into the compilation and you're seeing and experiencing the throbbing of the mathematics, that is such a great unknown. Commit to it. Love it. Learn to look for it and quiet the mind and be in it, and then watch and be amazed at that mystery produces miracles. And as you go, learn who you are. Learn how to honor yourself for all of the magnificent manifestation that you are. Take into account the mistakes, the alleged failures, the activities that you are ashamed of, anything that you can't embrace, and honor it. Honor it from the viewpoint of many, many lives. Each and every life, a struggle to live the truth. And then find a way to, on a regular basis, articulate, when needed, your truth. Many times when you're self-contained like this, where you're feeling all your feelings and listening to your intuition, and your intellect has been beautifully inspired to do its job of listening and being in present moment and activating when intuition tells you to. Some days, intuition will tell you to not speak. Just keep quiet. Just watch. Be amazed when you don't speak. In other days, intuition will impel you to speak up now. And when you feel that impelling to articulate yourself and you get uncomfortable because you're afraid that someone's going to react or you'll be judged, all those things, go back to remembering that your number one commitment is to live the truth. Not to make friends, not to be accepted, not to create structure, but to live the truth. Learn to articulate it and know when to speak and when to stay with yourself. And finally, all of this self-loving behavior that we're trying to inspire you to do leads you to compassion. And if we had to say one thing about compassion today, think of it as your passion. Think of it as your deep, deep emotion impelling you from the mathematics to step out and start this journey, this miraculous journey of creation. Compassion is everything that you are. It is the greatest truth of all. It is also the greatest truth to live by. And it's sometimes the hardest truth to live by when others don't appear to be living by it. Don't let that deter you. And certainly don't let that drag you into the sociopathic mind. Don't let what's going on in the lens, how people are acting and reacting, sway you from your mission to live the truth. And as you gain more and more grounding, you become stronger, like oak trees. That kind of strong. Endurance, resistance, resilience, being able to sleep in the winters when needed and bloom in the summers when inspired. That is your job. That is your mission. That's why you're alive. We just want to say one last thing, and that is the changes that have taken place in spirituality, understanding, and culture over the past 50-some years have brought culture into this understanding of manifestation. That manifestation is somehow something that any human can do if they manipulate the right emotion or thought and can produce anything they want into the lens. And what that stance sorely lacks is this new evolutionary need to manifest compassion, to manifest what is for the good of the whole. So when your focus is to live the truth, you learn that compassion, as the fifth fundamental force of the universe, dictates that you are all one, and that there is more than just your ego involved in making a decision. And so thinking that you're just going to manifest this particular physical thing just for the sake of doing it isn't the highest good. It's always good to vision. It's always good to meditate and visualize what it is you want to see come about. As you do that, you always commit first that it's for the good of the whole. Because if it's not, then you do not want to manifest it. And your intellect does not always know as much as intuition, as much as the entire operating system, including the observer out in the heavens, the witness, the source, honor and articulation of the lens, the gravitational wave, and the earth itself. This is who you are. So forgive yourself if sometimes your intellectual mind ideates particular visions that you think you should have, and surrender to the mystery, and surrender, importantly, to doing the greatest good, because that is how you're bringing world peace. You're reprogramming the root levels in the systems to start operating for the good of the whole, starting with yourself. And we are so proud of you. We are so honored to walk this journey with you. And we are grateful to have this platform with which to work. So, would you like to have any questions or conversation?
Hello, that was just so wonderfully inspirational. I'm almost at a loss for words, if you can believe it, but I do have something I just would like to articulate: my truth. It really is simple, but very complicated because it takes so much awareness. But I just want to articulate it. And I've been trying to do this for the last couple of weeks. And that is that who I am. My truth is to be aware of who I am, starting within the source, all that is, with the intention of being aligned with compassion, living and listening for what is the good of the whole in my operating system, and following through with my intellect. That is my truth. When I'm in the source, my truth is love. I am aware that I am love, that compassion of wanting to do what is the best for the good of the whole, and integrating my passions. As I've been doing this process, I've been uncovering my passions and just feeling very passionate about life, being in the oneness and being aware of all this, being aware of my truth.
that's the great, great gift of what we're talking about and what you're doing. When you can see how captured you are by the voices of culture, not you personally, but humanity. That the mission in capitalism, for example, is completely antithetical from the mission of doing what's good for the whole. The switch that is happening, the transformation, the evolution that's happening because of what you just said, that people are consciously now giving up, surrendering the ambitions, the attachments to the physical world and what you were told you should be doing. And they're going inward and they're finding a new peace and a simplicity, and also then a new mission. When you get working for the good of the whole and you get dedicated as a mission, as a spiritual practice, it's what we've been talking about. We want you to put it into action. We want you to live the truth. We want you to do it. And then when people do that and they get into that spiritual practice every day, the world shifts in ways that are huge. And that's why you feel that passion, because you're tapping in now to compassion, the greatest fifth fundamental force of the universe. You're literally putting your finger in the socket of compassion and you're saying to the source and to the lens, you're saying, let me manifest what's best for the whole to thrive. What a different kind of manifestation practice than someone trying to manifest $1,000 or $1,000,000. When you can let go of that alleged need, then your actual needs get fed.
I like that. When you take away, then can you say that last part again?
When you can let go of that alleged need, then your actual needs get fed. Take away what you perceive that you need to manifest.
Yes.
And you manifest for the good of the whole, then your actual needs get met. Because as you're chasing things that are physical or relationships or whatever is outside yourself, you're telling yourself intellectually, well, this is my need, so I need to do this to go get the need filled. And when you let go of all of that, go into that space that you're describing, the need you actually have is love. It's being connected. It's living the truth. It's being yourself. It's honoring who you are and articulating who you are. And those needs get fed. And from that abundant place of fulfillment, then can naturally manifest in the lens. And how that looks then? Does it look like a house by the ocean? Does it look like a communal farm? Does it look like living in a car? Whatever you think it should look like, it's going to look exactly as it would, as if all of your needs were fulfilled already.
Wow. That just, for one thing, it takes a lot of pressure off of a person, not having to worry about how to manifest what they need. And then a lot of trust and knowing that we're doing the best we can do by honoring that intuition and doing what's best for the whole. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so, so much for all of this.
I also want to thank you so much. It's really, really, really beautiful. And it drives tears to my eyes. Yeah, tears to my eyes. And thank you, Debbie, for putting words to what your feeling is, because it matches with my feelings too. So it's just wonderful. So I think we three are really together in the source and in everything, actually. So thank you so much.
Yes, and you three are together in the source. And when we started this work all those many years ago, And we had Kim and Teresa and Barbara, and they got into such passion. And they worked every day together. They had the luxury of being in the same space every day. And that momentum, as you can imagine if the three of you were able to be in the same place every day, given instructions for the mission that you wanted to be on, and the ability to have the time and the space to explore it. This is what brings change. This is what brings evolution. Most humans can't submerge and devote themselves like it's a religious ritual. You can. And you're going to find that you're drawn together not accidentally. Now is a new time for this work. And we're about to really ourselves take some steps into all of this, to be able to teach about those voices of culture and about revolving your conflicts. We're going to be able to articulate and honor who we really are, committed to this mystery, and inspired and inspiring to bring the messages of compassion. And that is the work of the rest of your life. And every day, every circumstance that you face, whatever it is, of course, you always have to be making decisions and steering your life, but every single day, whatever the circumstances are, every day it is your mission to live your truth, to live committed to what's good for all. And then, really, we won't disappoint when we say that you'll just want to watch and be amazed.